once again by Roberto Sanchez, who's going to be taking on Joby Sanchez at UFC Fight Night 126 coming up here on February 18th. Roberto, what's going on? How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, James?
I'm doing very well, and I got to mention to our audience, you didn't just dress up for this interview. You're actually at work right now. You work in insurance. As far as, balancing work and training camp and everything like that, does work sort of cut back a little bit closer to fight time?
They're actually really flexible with me here. I have really cool boss. He's laid back, and he lets me use some of my vacation time during lunch. Now, on Fridays, I drive over to my gym and then come back. And on other weekdays, I'll just take a long lunch and run on the treadmill for an hour. So, and we have showers here, so it works out.
You got everything set up. You might as well just throw you a bed there, and you could sleep there too. It sounds like you got everything figured out. That's awesome.
And you can't train all day anyway, so might as well work.
Exactly. No, I agree with that mentality for sure. And I know for people who might be watching this, I know that you were a teacher and now you're working in insurance. How has that transition been? Working in the insurance industry.
I'm in the actuarial profession, and it's pretty tough because we have to take exams. There's a series of exams we have to try to pass, and each one leads to a promotion. So you have big incentive to pass them. So it is difficult balancing work, fighting, and these exams. But if I can do it, I'll be the first person on earth to do it.
Exactly, and yeah, just another thing to add to your resume. Now, of course, I mentioned off the top, this is UFC Fight Night 126, which is going to be in Austin, which is close to home for you. How excited were you to get put on this card?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. My last fight in Mexico was awesome too, but going to another country, being away for 3 weeks, my wife and kids, and everything is a little harder. So luckily, it'll be a 2-3 hour drive here.
No, absolutely. And let's talk about that fight quickly. Obviously, things didn't go your way in that one against Joseph Morales. What did you sort of take away the most from that performance? Was it the elevation? Was it, just a better opponent? What do you sort of take away from that fight?
I guess I wasn't sharp on my striking, and I was too calm during the fight. There's a lot of things I could say that led to my downfall, but the way I just stood up with both my feet together. So when he came in with a 1-2, I was already 2 steps behind because I had to separate my feet and then try to move, and then it was too late. Once I got hit with that punch, it went all downhill from there.
And let's talk about this fight. You're taking on Joby Sanchez. He, of course, was in the UFC originally, then, won some fights outside of it, went on the Contender Series and got his contract back in the promotion. How do you feel like you match up against him?
I feel like it's a great matchup. I actually wanted to fight him back when I saw him on the Contender Series. And he's a tough dude. I could tell from his last name that he's going to be tough.
Exactly,
But I'm excited. He's a veteran. He already has 3 UFC fights, 2 Contender Series fights, so he's not a slacker.
No, that's for sure. Is this your first time fighting a fellow Sanchez?
Yeah.
Now, does that add a bit more knowing that your last name's on the line here?
No, because the Sanchez is going to win regardless.
Exactly, that's true. Yeah, who are you putting your money on? Sanchez. There you go.
Yeah.
How's training camp going? You talked about the work schedule being pretty flexible. Who are some of your main training partners that are helping you get ready for this fight?
I have a lot of training partners. I've been focusing a lot on stand-up, just make sure I'm sharp. I've probably done more striking and stand-up in these last 2 months that I did all last year, because last year I had so many little injuries. I kept on wanting to heal and not wanting to take risk of really sparring too much, and it really started catching up to me. And I did 3 fights in 4.5 months, so I wasn't really giving my body that time to recover.
Okay, interesting. And as far as the weight cut, how's that going? Getting back down to 125.
It's going good. I only have about 5 more pounds to drop, and then I'll do my cut from there. I've never missed weight, and I've never had an issue with it.
Excellent. How do you see this fight unfolding on February 18th?
I think he's going to try to keep it standing, try to go for the knockout. I'm going to do what I always do, try to take him down and submit him.
And what are your thoughts on the division right now? It's a little bit interesting with the fact that it looks like TJ Dillashaw might be fighting, coming down and fighting Demetrius Johnson. Do you like those types of super fights, or would you prefer DJ to just fight the contenders in the division?
if he could make 125, I think he should fight DJ. You know, that's a fight that everyone wants to see. Everyone wants to see Mighty Mouse get challenged. So why not, you know, do it if he can and win 2 belts?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. And as far as you, what's sort of the plan for 2018? You get this fight in here. Are you looking to fight a couple more times, or do you just want maybe 2 fights? Do you have sort of a game plan for 2018?
I have to see how this fight goes. You know, if I win, I wouldn't see why not. You know, keep going, moving forward, and see what's next. I'll definitely be, you know, trying to progress. I'm not trying to, you know, take 6 months off. You know, because it takes a lot of work to get your body in fight shape, and when you have a 6 month layoff, it makes it that much harder to get back into fight shape.
And as far as you know, what you're doing, you know, as far as downtime, I know you're a family guy and everything like that. But are you getting in any TV time during this training camp, or is it just impossible with your schedule?
I try to every now and then. Me and my watch will catch some shows. And I can't even tell you what we've been watching recently. We've been trying to catch up on movies, but since I don't have a lot of time, it takes us like 3 days to watch movies now.
I'm the same way.
Like
I'm the same way.
And then
yeah,
yeah, have to watch an hour, pause it, next day watch an hour. So, but it's been good, you know.
Did you watch the Super Bowl this past weekend?
I caught the end of it.
Okay.
You know, I was training that morning, and then I took a nap, and then I had to do some other things, and I caught the end of it. But yeah, it was a good game. A good turnaround right there.
Did you have a dog in that? Like, was there anyone you were sort of rooting for? Was it Philadelphia or New England?
I kind of wanted Brady to lose, so
yeah, you're pretty happy with that for sure.
Yeah, go his way.
Where'd you end up watching the Super Bowl?
I was just at home.
Okay, nice. Good stuff, man. Awesome. Well, everyone's got to check out this fight. It's UFC Fight Night 126 coming up here February 18th. Roberto, I always appreciate the time, especially during work. I mean, what a guy you are doing this. It means a lot. Just to remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours, sir.
You guys can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Exactly. Got to get those network connections in. That's good.
Twitter. And, you know, I want to just thank all my coaches, all my training partners at Gracie Barra, Texas, at Submission Boxing Academy, B12, E-Tray Fit. All these guys have been helping me. Frank, Pedro, Drac, and my buddy Omar and Uko. They've all been helping me with my striking and helping me improve and always helping me get better. Those are the guys I want to thank.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.